All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Errol Spence Jr. responded to these legends within Roy Jones, James Toney, Antonio Tarver, Sugar Ray Leonard, all these guys, right? And he has some very strong words to say about how they basically picking him over Crawford. Y'all just don't know, you Crawford fans. Y'all just feeding the fire. So, I'm going to break it down to y'all. Let's talk about it in this video. King Jr. got another video for y'all. Please sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, and also share the video to get all your latest boxing news. And remember to hit that bell icon to always stay notified as soon as I release the news. So with that being said, guys, before I get into this video, I just want to say, Sebastian Fondora, you are going to get destroyed if you go down to 147 to fight Errol Spence Jr. You would get beaten to the body so badly, you'll fold up like a lawn chair. So, and just for you guys to think I'm crazy, look what this says. Sebastian Fondora is willing to go to Errol Spence Jr. at 147. And Charlo already says, once I beat Tim Tszyu, you're next. So, I'm getting off topic here. Let's get into this. Errol Spence Jr. responds to Roy Jones, James Toney, Tony Tarver, all these legends that said that Errol Spence Jr. isn't going to be able to beat Terence Crawford because you got people like Roy Jones still backtracking off the car accident. Oh, Errol Spence Jr. look good again. Guys, hopefully he can make it out the car accident. And you got guys like Tarver who clearly was in a B fight with Rolly Romero, arguing about some dumb crap, acting like he's 18 to 20 years old on Twitter, acting like an immature, ungrown ass man. And you got James Toney, the guy that simply wasn't disciplined on weight, and he could have been one hell of a fighter if he was disciplined on weight and stuff like that. But he just clearly wasn't disciplined in the sport, saying that Errol Spence Jr. is going to definitely lose against Terence Crawford. So they're basically picking against Errol Spence Jr. If you ride for Crawford, ride for Crawford. That's if you ride for him, ride for him. But I want to show you Crawford fans that Crawford, well, I can't show you, but I'm going to talk about it. I want to show you Crawford fans that doesn't care about Crawford. If you guys watch the fight party, shout out to Trill Boxing Talk. Shout out to Black Fight Fan TV and the Queens on there. I really appreciate them and their great boxing talk with Black Fight Fan. And there was a guy yesterday that sent Black Fight Fan a super chat of $100, and he said that he was at the Hall of Fame show, and he says that when he tried to get a picture with Bud Crawford, Crawford immediately turned him down. Now, this isn't the first time that Crawford has done this. A lot of people say that Crawford is not a nice guy. I mean, yes, he's respectable in person, but he's just simply not the guy that respects him and his fan base. And you Crawford fans better look out, because Crawford doesn't be caring to support you. Y'all just want to see that man make Errol Spence Jr. lose so you guys can hype Crawford up. But really, Crawford doesn't care about y'all. There's numerous occasions that Crawford disrespects his fan base and stuff like that. So I just wanted to throw that in there for a little extra. But anyway, these legends are picking against Errol Spence Jr. And Errol Spence Jr. had this to say. It came back from when he was in the car wreck and dominating fashion, shows that he got real dog in them. It seems like the Hall of Fame was so focused on hating on Errol Spence, but to prove y'all wrong every day, he says, F them all. Well, I think he said it or somebody else said it, but I think his words was F them all. So Errol Spence Jr. clearly doesn't like these, I'm going to call these legends casual boxing fans that simply was great boxers at the time, but they simply don't know damn crap about boxing. And Roy Jones Jr., for a guy that's been in the ring, he simply just don't know boxing, okay? He said years ago that Errol Spence Jr. hasn't fought anybody on the top tier competition within Terence Crawford. Did we know who Thomas Delorme was? Did we know who Victor Postal was? Did we know who damn near Julius Indongo was? Did we know who really Hank Lundy was and all these other cats was? Absolutely not. We just know Crawford was fighting them. They had somewhat of a name. But the names we know that Errol Spence Jr. has defeated was a Lamont Peterson, was a Chris Algieri, was a Danny Garcia, was a Sean Porter, was a Yadanis Ugas. Those are names that was willing to fight the best of the best. And like I said before, what has Crawford done at 147? I don't give a damn about 135. I don't give a damn about 140. What has he done at 147? And he's better be lucky that he got a 55-45 split. Because if I was Errol Spence, I was 70-30 his ass. Off the rip. I have 3 belts. I'm doing the bigger numbers. I'm bringing in the draws. I did the bigger gate. And Errol Spence had every right to 70-30 this man's ass. He didn't have to give him 55-45 split. But Errol Spence Jr. was generous enough to make this fight happen so it doesn't seem like he's ducking. Errol Spence Jr. always wanted Crawford. He ain't never ducked no smoke. But y'all is just feeding the fire. Y'all really is just feeding the fire. When Errol Spence Jr. beat this man, or when Terence Crawford beat this man, whoever's going to win this fight, I don't want to hear no excuses from either side. I don't want to hear no excuses from my Errol Spence Jr. fans, and I don't want to hear no excuses from Crawford fans. But I already know who's going to win this fight, and it's man down over here. Errol Spence Jr. is going to beat Terence Crawford because you know why? Styles make fights. And I might have to break it down to y'all because y'all sure didn't watch my last video when I broke this down to specific details that I did 2 to 3 months ago. So when this fight get made and confirmed, I'm definitely going to break these styles down, and I'm going to shut up all you Crawford fans on why I think that Errol Spence Jr. would beat Crawford. Despite on what you say about it, it's not going to rival what I'm going to break it down to. So with that being said, you know, it makes no sense why the disrespect from legends saying this man can't do it. Y'all just feeding the fire. Because when Errol does beat Terence Crawford, he's going to throw this back all in y'all face. And y'all ain't going to be able to say nothing. Y'all probably going to make up the excuse, oh, Crawford was too old. Crawford was 35 years of age. We knew Crawford was good. We was just playing. We like Errol Spence. That's what y'all going to do. So be ready for them to say some crap like that. Because as soon as he does beat Crawford, I'm going to be on y'all Hall of Famers' ass. I promise you. So, you know, I have to agree with Errol Spence Jr. F them all. Just F them all because they ain't nothing but a disgrace. I don't give a damn. You got Tarver around here arguing with other type of fighters, trying to be in the mixed light. Because you know why these fighters is coming out with this? Because they're unknown. They're unpopular. They're old. Nobody gives a damn about their old ass. Y'all had y'all time. Nobody gives a F about you, okay? Y'all did what y'all had to do. But now since y'all want to talk boxing and stuff like that, y'all want to say Errol Spence Jr., oh, he just ain't this skilled. I don't know what he's going to do. Crawford, you know, that car accident was pretty hectic. Makes absolutely no sense. I had to make a video about this. I feel like everybody is stacking their cards against Errol Spence Jr., and it's going to be the wrong decision, in my opinion, because Errol Spence Jr. is going to hurt this man. I'm telling you right now. He's going to hurt this man. If Crawford doesn't, athleticism doesn't be at his highest, and he doesn't outbox Errol Spence, he better outbox him for 12 rounds. You got to be 12 rounds perfect to fight Errol Spence Jr. And to be honest, Errol Spence Jr. doesn't have to be perfect for 12 rounds against Terence Crawford unless Errol Spence Jr. has a scenario where he drops that mouthpiece and it could go a different way if that happens, which I don't think that would happen because Errol Spence Jr. did that 2 times in the ring, but he's got to be very cautious of that. But Errol Spence Jr. is not playing, okay? He's going to hurt this man. He said it on numerous occasions. I'm going to hurt this man. And when he does hurt this man, I don't want to see y'all Crawford fans go cry in the car. I really don't. So, y'all, I just can't wait for this fight, to be honest with you. And I'm going to end on this quote here, guys. Like Black Fight Fan TV says, shout out to Trill Boxing Talk. go subscribe to the channel. It's a great channel over there. Like Black Fight Fans said, it's going to be like your favorite dog getting hit by a truck. And I'm telling you, Crawford ain't going to be able to get out of the way of that big truck within Errol Spence Jr. That's just my opinion on the whole situation. You let me know what you think, guys. So, with that being said, guys, Errol Spence Jr. tells all the legends like Roy Jones, James Toney, Tarver, that they're picking against him for Crawford for the win. It says, F them all, because I'm going to throw it right back in the face when I beat him. So, with that being said, guys, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.